everyone, Geraldine Anello. I'm here today with Nate Patten. Hi, Nate.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. So, everyone, we're having a special edition of this fun daily life because today we're doing sofa edition. Well, why are we both on a sofa? You're going to ask. Simply because Nate is one of my favorite irreverent people I know, both in life but also online, because he has these fun rants he does on his Facebook where he's always in this position. So when I knew he was coming on as a guest, I was like, I will join you on the sofa fun. Where does the sofa fun come from, Nate?
I mean, mostly because in my apartment in New York, there's nowhere else to go. So I think it's the only option of things to do is just to lay down on the sofa and start talking to people on Facebook. So it's not a matter of choice as much as it's just the direness of the situation that it's either that or like the hallway outside of my apartment. So I don't want to bring the laptop into bed with me. It feels particularly grotesque. So yeah, that's why it's from the couch.
I always love watching those, and I always thought looking at you on your sofa that you look so cozy and comfortable, and I was excited to join the fun. Meanwhile, my arms are working hard. I am not doing any yoga today now. This is my workout for the day.
Yeah, what the guests don't know is that I'm actually in a constant plank while I'm doing this. It's a 15
I mean,
it's a 15-minute Pilates video that I'm doing right now.
That's really what I mean. You should be the Pilates king. That's really what this is. But
yeah, I'm sure.
For everyone here who do not know Nate Patten, he is best known for being the music director of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Now, I thought for a second that you were the associate music director, and the internet also thought that. Tell us more.
Well, first of all, the internet's always right, so always go with the internet. But it's funny. Whoever would say the associate and whoever would say the music director is both correct, because technically, what happened was Nick Skilbeck, wonderful, amazing music director from the UK, conducted the show over in London and then brought it over to the United States. And Mark Shaman actually was kind enough to put me, sort of hook the two of us up. And I became his associate. But this is so boring to anyone, almost anyone on earth. But I'm just going to get through it as fast as I can because I'm sure people have already, left. But long story short, Nick was the MD, but very early on in the process, he was like, I'm going to be going back to England. So I kind of knew, I don't remember exactly when it was, but I knew very early on as the associate that I was going to become the music director after Nick left. Which was great because when people came to see the show and they were like, they loved it, I was like, oh, great, I'm the music director in the program. And then if they didn't like it, I'd say, well, that was all Nick Skilbeck. So
how would you have the best of both worlds?
Totally. I didn't have to take any responsibility for something that people didn't like, and I could take all the credit for everything that they did.
I am just going to follow your career path on all things life and jobs.
Nick Skilbeck is, if you don't know him, he's a brilliant music director and a brilliant person, and just a good, just an overall amazing human. So it sounds like I'm making fun of him. It's true, but he's also a good guy and doesn't deserve it. So I'll say that. I love Nick.
Everyone, if you have questions for Nate, ask them in the comments. Make sure you give us authorization so we see both your name and the comments. Ask him questions. So you've worked on Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. What was that experience like concretely?
It was hell on earth from the minute it started. Just kidding. No, it was.
No.
No, it actually was not. It was a delight. I mean, to get to, this is going to sound so cliche and like someone that I hate, or as though I was a person that I hate. But, getting to work with Mark Shaman and Scott Whitman and Jack O'Brien and Josh Bergaz was truly something that I had wanted to do forever. And I never thought that would ever happen. So that was an incredible experience, especially, all of those people. I had grown up knowing Hairspray inside and out. So to get to work with that creative team was absolutely incredible. Look, Charlie has been the gift that keeps on giving, because it's not happening currently, but there's still a US tour out. There was an Australian company, which sadly just had to close because of coronavirus. And I believe that is not coming back, but it's still alive and well. This show that is like the gift that keeps on giving. It's like, I'm still I'm the music supervisor for the national tour that is not really out right now, but is has full plans to return when things get up and running again. So no, it's been amazing. And so there's been like 4 companies of this show, right? And there was Broadway, first national tour, Australian company, and the second national tour, and they've all been great. They really have. Different ways, different people. No, it's been a dream, and working with Mark and Scott in particular has been just the best. It's the absolute best.
Something I really love, I was looking at your bio on Facebook, and you said playing things sometimes, which it's so fun. So tell me about those things. What are some that like are highlights?
Is that what it says on Facebook?
It said, yes, play things sometimes.
I mean, like I think did I write that when I was high? Like I don't really know what that even means. I mean, I'm glad you're looking into it. Like, don't give that too much weight, because I think that was something I just wrote one night when I had an edible or something, because I don't know, like, playing things sometimes. I mean, first of all, I only play one thing. I play keys. I don't really, like, I sort of play the guitar, barely, but I mean, so I'm like playing things. It's not even true. It's playing one thing. Second of all, I should probably take that down. I don't know what I was thinking. Playing things sometimes.
The way I understood it was shows. Was that you meant playing shows? That's the way I understood it. Because
but then why not say playing shows sometimes?
I think because things is fun. Like I enjoyed reading it, and then below it said things like Elf, Memphis, Beautiful, and I was like, oh, I get it. It's fun.
Playing things. I mean, I had to say, I don't even remember that was there. I'm glad you told me, because I'm deleting that the minute I hang up the phone with you.
Here, I thought it was a very careful choice,
I mean, that sounds like, I don't know what I was thinking when I wrote. I don't know how old I was when I wrote that. Playing things sometimes.
All right, I'm gonna pick one of those then. Tell me about Beautiful, and here's why I want to know about Beautiful, because I have heard rumors about what that sub experience was like over there, and I really want to hear about it.
I don't know what the rumors are that is the greatest subbing gig you could ever have. First of all, I subbed there. I did over 400 performances at that show as a sub. So like, I mean, yes, I was always a sub. I never considered myself more than a sub. Though I was the associate for 6 weeks, actually. I became the associate for 6 weeks. Irrelevant. I mean, that was a party. I mean, it was just like the most fun gig ever. I loved subbing. Subbing can be stressful, as anyone who's done it knows. It was never stressful there. It was always fun. Jason Hallen creates the best vibe. It was just the music's amazing. Like those. I never really got sick of those songs either. But it was like I never felt more at home subbing somewhere than when I walked into the building. I loved it. Is that what you had heard?
Yes, I heard everyone loving it and playing pranks on each other and just having like so many games going on and fun things.
It was a fraternity house. It was insane. Fraternity and sorority. Forgive me.
Now, something that's really fun.
Politically correct.
Something that's really, really fun about you is the fact that you also comment publicly quite often on the theater scene. You take it beyond being a musician and being in the musician's world. You're very much in the theater world, and you have lots of thoughts about that. And you share them in your rants, and those are really fun. And you also share them on your podcast, Booked It. Can you tell us a little bit about your podcast and what prompted you to start it and what it's about?
Yes. I'm always sharing my opinion, whether or not people want to hear it, which is a great quality to have as a professional. I have a podcast with my co-producer, co-writer, Cam Collins. And we started this about 4 years ago, which I can't believe. And it's called Booked It, a Broadway musician's guide to theater, Facebook, and being #grateful. And I'll just tell you quickly that it originally, for both of you that are still here listening, Mom, I was originally writing like a coffee table book that was going to be like a sort of a satirical guide to writing to like making a career on Broadway using your social media. Like it was sort of a very dry, sarcastic, like here's how you can use Facebook to like become a star. And I was working on this, just sort of not really knowing what I wanted to do with it. And I was reading it.
Oh, we lost you. Wait, hold on. We lost you. Let me remove you for a second and bring you back on. Here we go. Hello? No, you are gone. Maybe if you try taking off your headphones. We have completely lost your sound. Yes.
Hello?
Yes.
Took the headphones out. You can hear me?
Yes.
I'm
I
sure
also
two
can
people
hear
are
myself. Maybe put them back on. This is alive, everyone. We're having fun live, as you can see. As we're all dealing, I'm sure, everywhere. Some sound issues here and there with all our Zoom happy hours and whatnot. Here, we're trying again. Hi.
How's that?
Yes.
Good?
Love it.
There's a little bit of a delay, but it's okay. Just let me do all the talking, and then the delay won't exist. So, we were writing this. So I was reading some of the stuff that I was writing over the phone with Cam, and he was kind of like, I kind of feel like you need to do this live. Like the stuff that you're writing needs to be like, I need to hear you. So I was like, but who the fuck is ever in a million years going to want to come and see me in a show on stage, which I didn't want to do anyway. So it just would be my worst nightmare. But he was like, I think it needs to be live. And then he was the one that said, why not this be a podcast? So the podcast consists sort of like an opening monologue where we talk about like a topic of the week or whatever. And then I interview a Broadway celebrity of like all different kinds of actors, directors, whatnot, somebody from the Broadway community. So that's how it started. And it's, it's part satire and also part Broadway news. And we wanted to have like real down to earth discussions about Broadway community in a way that Playbill and Broadway World didn't do. Everything is very sugar-coated. Everything is very like, look how magical it is here. But we really wanted to have sort of like practical, down-to-earth discussions about it, and just be just sort of a no-nonsense approach to what the business actually is.
That's so fun. And I love your rants on Facebook, and you've covered some topics that really got everyone involved. And one of the ones that got everyone talking about was Hairspray.
So for some reason, everything I've been doing this podcast for 4 years, like just writing like nonstop and doing these like posts and interviewing people, like just working on this a lot. And for whatever reason, I did a rant about my experience seeing the auditions for the non-act national tour of Hairspray, which for whatever reason, out of anything I've ever done, went fully viral. Like it was literally showing up on friends that aren't in the business, like friends that I don't even do theater or like theater, were messaging me being like, you showed up on my Facebook feed today talking about Hairspray. Like it went like fully viral. I'm not sure why. I really don't know why. It wasn't even that good. But I think I'm wearing this shirt in that rant too, which that'll look really nice. But basically I was at Pearl Studios and you can listen to it, but I did just a retelling of what that experience like, which the line for the audition went from Pearl Studios, the door of Pearl Studios, to 7th Avenue. It was like full on Lord of the Flies, just utter insanity at this non-union open call, and I just sort of described what it was. And for some reason, people wanted to see that.
That's awesome. I think we're going to have to stop here because I think there's some sound issues and some delay issues.
Okay.
But thank you so much for joining us, everyone. Thank you for being with us, and see you soon. Thanks so much, Nate.
Bye.
Everyone, we're back live with Nate Patten.
This is
This
is a shit show. I mean,
yes.
Oh my God.
You know what I call it? It's real. It's like we're not playing. So everyone, we said goodbye because as you could tell, there was some sound issues and all of that. But we were so looking forward to talking with Nate that when we hung up, we're like, we really just want to try again and fix the audio and sound issues. So we tried a lot of things that are very boring that I'm not going to bore you with. But welcome back. If you have questions, put them in the comments. We're going to try this whole thing again.
Just introduce me again. Please say all the nice things that you said about me again. I would love to hear them.
So, so everyone, if you don't know Nate,
my ego needs inflating. Please say the kind words that you did again.
So the most important thing from really everyone, if you missed the poor audio, poor thing that just happened, the most important compliment I gave Nate truly was the fact that you have solid arms for being able to being on the sofa that long.
Yes, I said I'm in a plank. I'm doing a Pilates video.
Yes,
okay.
I mean I'm just buffing up like crazy over here. So everyone, Nate is the music director of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Tell us things about Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
This is wait. Okay, hang on. This is like Groundhog Day. I mean, let's assume that both people watching this from the beginning have already come back. Do we have? Let's just do another question. I mean, we don't have, I think, unless you want me to do that again. I mean, I already gave an answer that was so boring. The thought of hearing myself say it again makes me want to blow my brains out. So
I want to talk about Booked It again. I want to talk about your podcast because I think that's when the sound issue happened the most. And I really want to talk about your Facebook rants because every time one comes up, I cannot wait to hear what you have to say. So I have a few topics here and we can spend some time about every one of them. But we were talking about hairspray in particular. What is the hairspray situation? What happened and what is your opinion of it?
So for those of you just joining the two people that were previously listening, my mother and some woman I met on the street earlier. The podcast, I have a podcast called Booked It, a Broadway musician's guide to theater, Facebook, and being #grateful. And it's sort of a satirical take on the industry, and we interview Broadway celebrities and blah, 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 blah. The hairspray thing was that I did just sort of a Facebook Live, much like this, just documenting what had happened at the non-equity national tour of Hairspray, which I witnessed, which was just in short, a line of people that went from the front door of Pearl Studios on 35th and 8th all the way to 7th Avenue. It was like Lord of the Flies. You could not even get in to the building. It was so insane. So I just did like sort of a play-by-play of what it was trying to get into that building for another rehearsal. And for whatever reason, out of everything I've written, out of every other stupid thing I've posted, that was the one that went the most viral, to the point that like other people I didn't know, or like friends that like I don't know from theater were writing me being like, why are you on my newsfeed talking about Hairspray? Like it went fully viral. It wasn't even that good. I don't know why. For some reason, it was the right place, the right time. That was what people really wanted to see. But,
well, what's your opinion on that long line? I mean, you were in it. You tried to go up that building, couldn't get on.
I get to the. I mean, you'll see this if you've watched it, or you're gonna watch it. No one will watch it. I get to the front. I walk up to the gate, and the line is out the door. So I go to the security guard, and I'm like, "Hi, like I'm here to get in. I have to get to the 3rd floor. I have a rehearsal." And he goes, direct quote, "Ain't nobody getting to no 3rd floor." I was like, "But I have a rehearsal." I'm like, "I'm not here to audition." And he goes, "Ain't nobody getting to no 3rd floor." It was like nobody's seeing the Wizard of Oz. I was like, "But I've just got to get to see the Wizard, mister." So anyway, you can see it. I'm not like reading the entire thing, but like basically, it was just like it was full. Like, I had to be like specially like carted up to the 3rd floor in an elevator of Edna's and Tracy's, which, by the way, was about a second away from plummeting to the ground because everyone in the elevator was at least 400 pounds.
Oh my god! And so, what was your take on it in your podcast? Of that whole line and everything.
It's funny. I didn't really give too much of a take on it, as much as I just reported what had happened. I just said what I saw. I mean, I didn't really have an opinion on it. I don't know what the opinion is, that everyone is fucking crazy for like getting in that kind of a line. But I didn't really do too much of an opinion of the whole thing. I didn't really share an opinion. I just sort of said, like, this is what's going on and this is what's happening at Pearl Studios. I think it somehow painted a picture for people of like what the performing arts industry is as an actor. Like that, you're there. People were signing up at 3:00 in the morning. Like it was just like, they were literally at Pearl Studios at 3 a.m. and their audition was at 10. So by the time they even auditioned, they were like on coke, just like looking like, like, the Tasmanian devil running around Pearl Studios. I mean, so I think it just like made people go, oh my God, like this is what the life of an actor is. Not to mention, I'm realizing now the irony that 2 weeks after that happened, there was a global pandemic. So, which, by the way, let's be real, it probably started at there. I'm pretty sure COVID-19 started at the Hairspray open call.
Here's a question from Catherine, who indeed is back for more. So it's your mother, that other person, and Catherine.
Catherine, it's 3 people. Thank you, Catherine.
Catherine says, how would you explain, or what's your story with the phase of getting into that ring of subbing on Broadway, landing a chair, getting into playing a workshop of a production?
Okay, great question. What I did was I sent naked photos of myself to producers. Just kidding. Not true. I never did that. I haven't ruled it out, but I haven't done it yet. No, I mean, oh man, you know, I will say this, Catherine, the path to doing this is really different for everybody. So, I mean, I can tell you sort of how it happened for me, but like, this is certainly not the way to do it. And it's also not the only way. And no 2 people are alike. I started subbing, honestly. I got put in touch with John McDaniel, who was the conductor of Catch Me If You Can on Broadway. That was my first, you know, like somebody knew him and they're like, oh, you should meet John McDaniel. And he was like, oh, why don't you, he's like, I'd like to meet you sometime. Like, why don't you just like play something for me? So I like met up with him and I just played him a song. And I was sort of like, okay, well, he just wants to hear me play. Like, nothing's going to come out of this. And then when Catch Me If You Can went to Broadway, he was the conductor. I got to sub on keys there, which was a real gift. That was just that one particular show, though. And that was my Broadway subbing gig. But like, I had already done some random stuff. I mean, I know playing auditions for a lot of people is a great pathway into subbing because, you know, you're playing in front of other music directors and they'll be like, oh, that audition pianist is really good. Why don't you, you know, you can come sub on the show or, you know, whatever. I mean, that happens a lot. That didn't happen for me, but like, that's many people's path to this is audition piano, playing for the casting directors. But I think at the end of the day, just to wrap up this long-winded answer, it's just to have as many people know you and know what you do as possible. And then one connection leads to another. You know, I mean, just as many people that can like just know who you are, the better.
Yes. Let's go back to some of those rants you've had. I'm going to throw a few topics.
I love that we're alternating between like, it's like, that was really nice advice about the business. Let's talk about how angry you are.
So here are a few of them that are really fun. Now you pick which one you want to talk about. We have options. People making their show about something it isn't. We've got GoFundMe. Wait. We need to know the options. We've got GoFundMe. And then we've got, obviously, everyone, you're not ready for this, poop. Why poop?
Okay, well, you need to explain the last one before you have me do it. The first one, though, I haven't really talked about this, but like the whole thing of like making your show about something it isn't, I just have this obsession with people that like, we somehow just given more importance to like a lot of this than I think it really deserves. I love when people's shows close. I mean, I don't love that. But I like when people post on something on Facebook, they'll say, we were more, this show is closing today. We were more than just a musical. No, you fucking weren't. I hear that all the time. I know, you know, we're closing. I know we only ran for 3 weeks, but you have to understand it was more than just a musical. No, it wasn't. It was exactly what you just said. It was a musical. And of course, I'm not minimizing the power of art. I'm certainly not minimizing the power of musical theater, but like, it's just not that, like, you know what I mean? Like, it isn't changing the world. You know what I mean? We God, I sound so cynical.
The word I like to use is irreverent.
Yeah, it's irreverent.
It's irreverent.
Oh, you mean I'm irreverent?
Yes.
That's a nice way of saying a-hole.
Oh no, not at all. It's more like you can only say the things you say because it comes from a place of deep love for what you do and the field you're in.
Yes, of course. And like, I know music, the power of music, the power of musical theater, you know, like I'm not minimizing that, but like the community has given a weight to some of this that is almost laughable. Like, oh, you know, it's just so the things that we're doing, we're healing the world. It's like, okay, typically you can talk about art healing the world after the fact. Like, people get to talk about what art has done for the world after it's already done it, not the day that it comes out. You know what I mean? Like, you think Da Vinci was sitting there painting it being like, well, this is going to be big. You know what I mean? It was like, we've lost the insecurity of as art. It's like, what about like, let's just put something out and see like what time and history will do to it. Like, we somehow want everything to be life-changing as it's happening in that particular moment, which I think is ridiculous.
Moving on to GoFundMe.
I love your French accent, because I would have said go fund me, and you said go fund me. Okay, so I'm obsessed with GoFundMe's because I think that have gone just completely off the rails. I mean, I should preface this up by saying, like, we have pre-coronavirus GoFundMe's and then post-coronavirus GoFundMe's, and those are different things. But like, pre-coronavirus GoFundMe's, originally GoFundMe started like, hey, my sister needs liver surgery and we don't have any money. GoFundMe. And then you're like, sure, that sounds like a good cause. I'll pay it. And then you help pay for someone's liver surgery. You help pay for someone's house burned down. You helped pay for something that was an emergency. And somehow the artists have hijacked the GoFundMe. And now it's like, I want to do a 54 Below show. Please pay for it. Like, I don't know when we felt we became so shameless that we have gone onto social media to beg other people for money to do our one-person shows, for which, by the way, anyone who pays for it gets nothing. You literally get nothing. I mean, I saw someone post this. I mean, you don't even want to get me. I sound like I'm out of my. Look what quarantine has done.
I think you're passionate, and passion. That's an important skill in a musician, and you demonstrate it in many different ways.
Let me talk. I just want to say the musical theater community is a beautiful, beautiful place full of supportive, kind people. Anyway, what was I saying? What was
you were saying? Oh, GoFundMe.
This guy did a GoFundMe of. It was called Get Me to Hamilton. And it was literally asking people to pay for his ticket to Hamilton. I mean, it's just insane. But like, I'm sorry, I hate to knock on them, but this is like a millennial thing, right? This is like the millennials have hijacked the GoFundMe, and they're like, I don't want to pay for this myself. So I'm going to go on the internet and beg people to get me a ticket to Hamilton.
We've got an important question here from Kevin, the moderator of this group, who says, hey, Nate, can you contribute to my GoFundMe? It's for my life-changing musical.
Kevin, I thought the question was like, we have a question for you. Like, why aren't you on pills right now? Kevin, the answer is, you have to give me more information about what the show is, but unless it's to also pay for, your like a new kidney for you, then the answer is no.
So this was the pre-corona GoFundMe.
Yes. I mean, it's now complete. It's still insane. And I'm sure that's never going to stop. But like, someone posted on the national tour, I'm calling them out. I'm sorry, but somebody posted from the national tour of Bandstand. This girl posted a GoFundMe, like after the pandemic happened. She's like, we've all sort of, the Bandstand national tour, we've all sort of taken a big hit. Can you pay for us? So they were trying to raise $100 per person on the tour. I'm like, what? Like the global economy is shut down. Like the stock market is in free fall. And we're supposed to donate to raise $100 per person? Like what? I mean, that was completely insane. I mean, because I was like, what is that going to do? Like $100? I'm like, okay, great. Like, that's, half a bag of groceries at Whole Foods. So like, I mean, okay, sure. But like, why do we have to, I don't know, that was, but like stuff like that. Again, the pandemic now, everybody's in a dire situation, so it's a little bit different, of course, but pre-pandemic, it was much more horrifying. I wonder why there's no more questions.
And everyone, you can put your question. Our final rant we're going to approach is poop.
Okay, so
I'm really excited about this.
Well, I'm glad you are. So, I mean, there was I don't know when this happened, but there was, I don't even like talking about this, but like it
was in 2019. We do know that.
It was in 2019. Okay.
Yes.
I didn't know that. Someone pooped on the floor of Pearl Studios in the audition room.
Just so we're clear for all of our non-New Yorkers, Pearl Studios are like one of the top five studios everyone in the theater industry goes to, non-union, union, musical theater, classical. If you live in New York, you're a musician, you're going to be there a lot. So this is a space we all can rent studio for like an hour, a half hour.
I got a text from a friend of mine. It was like 10 a.m. and I'm sitting there, having a cup of coffee, and I get a text and it just says, "Hey." And I was like, "Hi." And he goes, "I'm at an audition for Magic Mike." This is my favorite part of it. It's Magic Mike. And someone pooped on the floor. And I was like, "In the bathroom?" And he's like, "No, in the audition room. Someone pooped like in the middle of the audition room." So I was like, "Well, who was it? I don't know." So this incident became something that, of course, everyone heard about. It was like the Lindbergh baby. Like, I mean, it was like a mystery that like we don't know, like we will forever wonder what the hell happened, because no one knows what happened. No one knows. I mean, somebody knows who did it, because it was a crowded room of people. There's no way that could happen without someone seeing it. Like this was a group.
Well, what I heard about this story was that someone walked into the room and the poop was there.
Yeah, of course, that's what everyone's heard.
I don't know if it was a group effort or I don't.
But it was a no. It was a crowd. It was a crowded room of people, and 1 minute it was there, and 1 minute it wasn't. Like, again, this will go down as one of the all-time great mysteries of human civilization.
I mean, as far as Broadway is concerned, that's definitely one of the greatest stories of all time.
Oh, total. It's also like it's like we have Amelia Earhart, and then we have the Pearl Pooper. Like, we're just wondering, like, what happened that, and then anyway, it just became a full-on like media fest for the Broadway community. Like, everyone heard about it and was investigating it. But I mean, I think it's one of the great things. I guess it also raises the question, like, who hasn't wanted to do that at Pearl Studios at some point? You know what I mean? It raises I was like, in a lot of ways, this was the Rosa Parks of Broadway that said, "Enough is enough. I'm done."
We've got a crazy follow-up question that is as irreverent.
See, why am I doing it's like, you are? Like Broadway music director Nate Patten is here to talk about poop.
So this question is from Catherine again, who says, "How much chocolate was in the Charlie pit?" Because this riveting poop rant has me wondering how chocolatey that was.
What a nice segue, Catherine. How much chocolate was in the pit? There were these chocolate bars, actually, because the kids had to eat. The kids who played Charlie actually ate part of a chocolate bar, and I think they used to literally put out the rest of the chocolate bar because he wouldn't eat the whole thing every night because the kid would be, jacked up on chocolate. So there used to just be like chocolate that was always sort of left out. So there was actually quite a bit of chocolate in the orchestra pit there. I definitely indulged in a few pieces nightly, for sure.
Did the kids have their options of what chocolate they got to eat on the show?
I don't think so.
It was like, this is the chocolate you're getting, and that's that.
Oh, no. Yeah, it was like, no. The kids, no. They were like, "You're starring on Broadway and you're 11. You're going to eat whatever the hell we hand you."
This is awesome. All right, everyone. I'm so glad we got this second half in with good sound, good audio. Thank you for being with us. Everyone, go check out Nate's awesome podcast called Booked It. I will put the link once we're done here. Nate, thank you for staying with us and figuring out all the sound issues with us.
It was a delight. Thank you so much.
Bye, Nate.
Bye.